Don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're just freaked out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now. It's been a minute since I've done, or at least made a follow-up to the last part of this series. Now, with that being said, I'm very sorry. It kinda slipped under my radar because I got a little bit busy with certain other series. Now, with that being said, let's continue. In the last part, Izuku, he just learned his father died. Deku was starting to get things somewhat figured out with Mirko's family. However, just as that did start to happen, you did actually have his own family. Deku, he felt terrible. He's, well, not there. He's talked to his sister. He's talked to his brother. His dad is already passed. And, well, he talked about having a few regrets. Deku, he's well aware as to what a few of them might be. And it is kind of bad for him. Deku, he feels like he's failed. He thought that there was still time to talk to this man. And Deku, he knew the time zone for it would be somewhat nearly impossible and or just very small or brief. He thought that there was a chance that maybe, just maybe, he could cure his father's condition. Or find a way to prolong his life. Now, this is a lot of things, there's just a lot of things going through Deku's mind. And we do actually cut to him right now. Deku, yeah, that was yesterday. He learned his dad passed away. And really, right now, there's a bit of a problem. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know how to feel. And really, that's all he can have in his mind. Right now, he's sitting outside. And he is looking at an island. He's wondering about everything. Right now, the world, they're on the brink of many different scientific discoveries. And then there's the fact that his entire project, his entire line of, well, prototypes, they could be on this island ready to be sold off at false prices. Knockoffs or unfinished weapons. It annoys him. He doesn't know what to do with that. If he just packs up and leaves right now, a lot of people could die. There's no telling how many people could be affected by his tech. However, if he doesn't leave, he feels like he's gonna miss his dad's funeral. Since, well, they have to start planning it out. And that's something that he doesn't want to leave them alone for. It's gone through his head over and over again. And really, what is he going to do? Deku going to bring a bottle up to his mouth as he does going to take a deep and long swig of some whiskey. As he does go to set the bottle down and look over the city once again. As you do actually have Mirko. She does come walking up behind Izuku. Her asking if he's alright. Yeah, I'm fine, Mirko. I'm just a lot on my mind. Izuku, you didn't go to bed last night, did you? I couldn't sleep. There's a lot in my head. Izuku? Can you look at me? Deku not turning around. He doesn't want to face her. How is he gonna look at her? He knows that she has her own problems. She can deal with them by herself. And he has his own problems. Deku thinks that he can deal with them on his own. since they might not be any for business. However, whenever Deku, he does actually hear Mirko's footsteps, she just come walking up to his left. Her actually going to look down at him and going to bend down. Her getting on his level, asking if he's really just going to sit here and drink all day. Okay. What about it? Izuku? You gotta do something, okay? I know. I know. I can't think of anything else. It's all that's been on my mind. I can. And if I. Deku taking a deep breath. As Mirko should just wait. He needs to just stop stumbling over his words. He needs to just calm down. Her watching Deku. As he does finally at least turn to her, I'm going to say a few things. He knows if he does separate his emotions from the businessman in him, or the inventor, his tech can kill people if it gets into the wrong hands. And he doesn't feel like he needs to leave. He feels like he needs to stay here and try to figure things out. However, his emotions, they're telling him something different. And this is something that Deku, he does at least try to relate to Mirko with. He doesn't know what else to say. And Mirko, after at least talking to him a bit more and expressing to him that family is more important than his inventions, and that if he does try to leave it into the hands of his crew, maybe they can help him. And Deku, he does at least get what Mirko's talking about. While right now Deku, he is pretty fucked up or intoxicated, he does remember the people he's worked with. The people he would consider to be friends. They've all worked together to recreate and make improvements upon some of the designs he's made just for one project. If he applies them differently, then maybe they can do the same thing for the projects he's deemed to be too dangerous. And that is something that Deku, he does actually at least somewhat think about more. As we do have where Deku does talk about how he's going to make a few phone calls. As he's going to stand up and walk inside. Now, Mirko, she just does stand outside. Her looking over the island and towards the ocean. It does make her wonder as well about a lot of things. Her going to bring her hand up to her chest as she just does wonder. Family is important. She has been learning that lesson, and she's been thinking more and more about it. But her father, she doesn't know if they're at that step yet. She doesn't know if they're really gonna be close enough to ever get there. A picture-perfect family like she's always wanted. And that's something that does somewhat annoy her. While they are making progress, it's nowhere near what she wants it to be. And she doesn't know exactly how long it might take before it gets there. As we actually do have Deku. He's made a few phone calls and has talked to a few people. As whenever Mirko does come walking inside to talk to Deku, he does turn towards her and gonna open his mouth, talking about how he's made a few phone calls and has talked to a few people. Some people are going to be on their way, and their bags are going to be packed up and they're going to leave. Really? Yeah. Listen, can you get me a cup of water? Yeah, I can. Her walking over to the kitchen, as she does at least get Deku a glass of water with some ice. As whenever he does go to take it from her, he actually does go to bring up his other hand. Him actually going to pull Mirko into his lap, as she does go to sit down. Deku actually going to take the water, and then going to start sipping onto it. As Mirko, she does at least stare at Deku for a minute. His cheeks are bright red, and she can tell that he clearly hasn't been drinking enough water. As Deku, he does just go to hang on to her tight. I'm actually going to at least bring his head and lean it up onto her shoulder. As he does ask her if she thinks that he made a mistake. Izuku, I don't know if I can answer that. Mirko, you're smart. I trust your judgment. You're one of the best people I know. Just be honest, please. Mirko is staying silent. She doesn't really understand what he wants her to say. Her, at least, going to open her mouth. As Deku, he does hear her begin. She may not have the best experience with family, I should start with. But, from what she understands, it was better than Izuku's. Her father may have been trying to be controlling, but at least he tried to put in effort to try and be a father. Well, Deku, he only had one man he could try to at least call his father, and that was Masuro. Deku is staring at, well, Rumi. He's hanging on to every word she has talked about. As she has at least expressed that even after Deku became a man, whenever Hasashi realized he made some mistakes, and whenever he realized that he was going to die, he wanted to make things right. Her at least going on to continue, expressing that if Hasashi knew that Deku was feeling this beat up about his death, if Deku was feeling this much sadness, Hasashi would probably be smiling. And that does somewhat confuse Deku for a minute, as he does try to think about those words. Why would he be smiling? However, it does take him a second to have it click. Hasashi would be smiling right now because Deku feels this sadness. And Deku, while he does try to at least stay a little bit more, positive in this way, he does still at least have his mind wander. He tries to stay focused, and eventually someone does come knocking on their door. As we do have where after Rumi does walk up, or get up and walk over to it, she does open it to find Melissa, along with even somebody that she doesn't recognize but does look somewhat familiar. As the two of them, they do go walking in to the apartment. As Deku, he does go to stand up and walk over to the dresser that's directly next to his side of the bed. Him going to open it up as he started to pull a few things out of it. As he does go to hand these things over to Melissa and this person. As Melissa, she's kind of confused for a second, before Deku does start to open his mouth and explain the items he just handed both of them. And the person, they are staring directly at Deku, as they can tell he's not sober. And Melissa, she kind of does at least notice the smell of whiskey in the air, as she does look over towards Rumi. Rumi doesn't look like she's the one who's messed up, and she actually does at least wait for Izuku to finish talking. So what's so urgent that you have to leave? My dad died last night. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta go. But listen, Deku trying to explain. Him trying to tell her that everything that watch can do, these masks can do, and even this device over here can do, they are all designed to be spy equipment, and to even help them out. So, if they're going to at least catch the people who are at least trying to knock off or make knockoffs of his own inventions, they already have most of the data with them. And it really shouldn't be hard. Deku trying to express that, oh, you're going to want to search these places over here and these places over here, since he believes that this corporation, or even the Intelli Corporation, may be the ones who stole his designs. And as that does all happen, we do actually have where Deku and Rumi, they do go to leave. Now, Rumi's parents, they were kinda caught off guard. Yeah, she left with, well, her boyfriend, and they were kind of annoyed. It'll be a few days before they can actually go to see their daughter again, since this was kind of a bit of a pricey place to stay. And her father, or as I do have him named here, Warren, he isn't just going to skip out on what he paid for. Now, with that being said, Deku, whenever he does arrive back on the mainland, he does get to see his family. And things, they are actually somewhat a bit more strange. Now, whenever Deku he did arrive, things they did seem kind of tense and, well, just awkward. Inko can tell by the way her son was acting that this actually did affect Izuku. And while she does have no real right to say anything, Deku, that was his father. She can at least appreciate that that man tried to redeem himself. Well, he couldn't have made up for the years or decades he spent away from their son. He at least knew he messed up. And while it doesn't give Inko a lot of comfort, that's at least enough for her not to, well, curse a dead man, if that's the right way to say it. Now, we do actually have where 2 weeks later, it is all said and done. The funeral, it happened. Deku, he paid for everything. And his family, yeah. To say it in the least, they're all just kind of not too sure what to do. As we do currently have Deku, Shindo, and Kelly. All of them, they're sitting around a cafe. And Deku, he did come here because this place, they do at least have some good food. Along with that, it actually was where they all met their father the first time. It's where Deku met his sister. And it's where Shindo, yeah, he discovered a lot of things with his life changed. He may not have met them here, but it's just a lot to think about. He's back in the exact same type of setting. He's meeting a man who was his father, a man he never even knew. It just changed his life. It just gave him so much to think about. This idea in his head, the man he thought was his dad, wasn't at all. They were practically a stranger to him. And just knowing even just a little bit about him, that's what does annoy him. He does feel sadness, but he also does have a quiet rage. He didn't get to know their father as well as he would like to. The man came into his life a stranger, and he seemingly left the same way. Now, Shindo, he does have this void, as he actually does go to look up at his older brother Izuku. And he can tell from the way his brother does look that he himself doesn't seem to be doing too good. Deku looks like he hasn't been sleeping too well. He's not wearing a tie. And, well, there's just his appearance. He can tell that Izuku, he may have had a drink this morning. And you do actually have where he does go to open his mouth to ask about that. As, whenever he does so, Deku does look up towards him. Hey, are you doing alright? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just been a lot. I've been talking to some of my associates at work. Some of my friends. Many of them say that the gala, yeah, they were able to analyze and at least give me some data. We found 2 of the knockoffs, but That's the problem. Even with our designs, the copies, and everything they've done, it isn't concrete. Those things, they were never, what? Patented is the right word? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Shindo he does stare at Deku. He forgot a word. That's not like him. As he does ask him if he's gotten any sleep. Hmm? Yeah, yeah. I'm just a little tired. That's all. Now, Deku he does go to stand, talking about how he just needs to go for a walk. He's gonna head back to his apartment, and if any of them they do want to talk to him, they have his phone number. Deku going to at least open his wallet and go to set down some cash, talking about how he'll get it covered from here. As he does turn to go to walk away. Right now, Deku, he has his own morning to do. While this is strange, Deku, he's isolating himself from his siblings. This feeling he does have. All of his life, he's had a silent rage towards that man. And the moment he met him, he let out some of it. Deku, he still feels that way. He doesn't know. He became so, well, he became so different. Deku, he knows exactly what's going on with him. Right now, he's trying to preoccupy his mind. He's trying to make sure he doesn't focus on anything. Emotional stability. And his idea with work. He has two different things going on in his head. Right now, his emotions are taking him for a ride. Years and years of just neglecting them, ignoring some of them, and even some of them coming through, they've started to break through Deku's exterior. And right now, Deku, he's also at least trying to think about everything else. He doesn't feel like he has the time. He doesn't feel like he has the time to do anything. He should be all work, work, and work. But even then, what he had planned to be at this point in his life, it's gone off the rails. He should have at least had that stuff patented. At this point, he probably could have, gone back through and redesigned at least the gravity gun, turn it into something else? But then there's now. Right now, he's mourning the loss of, well, as Deku does not want to say the words out loud, a dead man. Deku, he knows exactly why he hates those words. Because it's trying to dehumanize Hisashi. It's trying to emotionally detach from Hisashi. And that's not something that Deku feels like he can simply just do by changing exactly the way he phrases it. Now, with that being said, Deku, he does arrive at his apartment, or Mirko's place. As whenever he does walk in and go to sit down on the couch, he does just go to lean back, before he's going to sit forwards and put his head down in his hands, going to toss his phone down, as he does just think about it. Okay, they at least have designs, they have certain items, they have certain blueprints and 3D models. He can tell what they did change, he can tell everything. But if he does try to go to court, that's another problem, it's another issue. What's gonna happen? Will this really go well? Will things actually be easy to handle? Will things just blow over? Will he win? They could try to draw it out for years and years and years. If these companies are large enough, they can throw lawyer after lawyer at the problem. And Deku, by the time they would figure it out, by the time they actually crack into his blueprints wide open, they would just try to at least strike against him. They try to say that he stole their patent years ago. And that's something that Deku, he really doesn't want to at least face off against. Well, he could go back through, at least find a way to destroy these designs, find a way to stop them from being made. He feels like he could do some good. He can get at least the 4 of them back and try to destroy any data related to the ones he deemed too dangerous. Now, with that being said, we do actually have our roomie. She does actually go to walk out of the bedroom, as she just got changed after getting out of the shower. Her asking Izuku as she does go to walk into the kitchen and grab a glass of water before walking into the living room if he's okay. Yeah, I just got back from lunch. And this morning. Yeah. Yeah. How did it go? Honestly, I I Deku just starting to get brought to tears. As Rumi, she actually has go to sit down to Deku's lap and then go to at least bring him into a hug. Her holding on to him to at least tell him that it's okay and to just let it out. As Deku does go to wrap his arms around her and talk about how he doesn't understand. He doesn't get it. He doesn't know why Hisashi died. He doesn't get it. His condition. He should have still been stable. Deku continuing on, as he does even talk about how he wanted to look into his father's condition, but he never did. He was so consumed with what he had going on, with his idea of making sure his name was remembered. And Deku, he does just stare at Rumi. She's just staring back down at him. As Deku, he doesn't know what to really even say. How do you come to terms with that? How do you come to terms with the fact that he basically let a man die? That's how Deku feels. He's beating himself up and blaming himself all over it. And Rumi should just hold on to Deku, as he just doesn't know what to do. The smartest man in the world is finally stumped by a problem. It's not one of math, it's not one of science, it's not one of chemistry. It's not one of, well, history. It's one of emotion. And that's something he doesn't understand. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.